Growing up in a family that has such a lineage, is there pressure on you to even get into the wrestling business?
No, there was actually no pressure at all. I never wanted to wrestle growing up. Like I always enjoyed traveling with my father up and down wherever, East Coast, West Coast, wherever he traveled, I traveled. Uh, Especially like when he was in WWE, like or WWF at the time. He used to carry me, put me right on top of a suitcase, and just wheel me down in the hallways. Um, I was just always a part of it, but I never wanted to do it. I was always a baseball player growing up since I was 4 years old, all the way till I turned 18. I played baseball my whole life. Um, I did like little stints with my dad in the ring, like 450 splashes at 7 years old. I did Bronco Buster, people's elbows, like all that fun stuff, like run-ins, but I never took it serious enough where I want to actually pursue it as a career.
Oh man, well, it's working out for you. And so far in your young career, you've done so much, but I want to talk
Oh,
about.
thank you, young man. I
Yeah,
like to hear
yeah. Well,
that.
I see a little pepper, but that's okay. Salt and pepper, that's okay. That's okay. We all have that problem sometimes. That's
Yeah.
what that dies for. But not that I ever dye my beard. That's this crazy talk.
Who would,
Don't
man?
put that in the dirt
No.
sheets. Don't put that in the dirt sheets. Though, with your career so far, let's start with an easy question. Strangest place you've ever wrestled?
Strangest place I ever wrestled. I'm trying to think, man. It was a warehouse. I forget, man. It was like when I first started, probably like 2011, 2012. Uh, it was actually up near the Boston area, and it's where they filmed the movie Shutter Island. It was like on a fourth floor of an abandoned warehouse. And yeah, they filmed the movie Shutter Island there, and I was just like, man, like I watched these guys carry the ring up 4 flights of stairs, and I was like, do the fans even like know where to go? It's dark, pitch dark, man. Everyone got to take like what is it, the emergency exit stairs to the to the building. That has to probably be the weirdest place I ever wrestled.
Wow. Why even choose that location? Do you know why they okay, 'cause you go to the first floor, you get the second floor, you get the third floor. Why the fourth floor, do you think?
No idea. And yeah, there's like no lights in it's a all rock like driveway path all the way to the building, and I think they did it just to film where they filmed Shutter Island. Uh, hey, whatever works, man.
That's true. Yeah, I imagine the poster must have said like Shutter Island Slam or something in the lines of that.
Oh yeah, I don't even remember. I just remember. I think it was I was on it. My Uncle Alpha Jr. was on it. I believe X Pac was on it. And somebody else. I'm not too sure, but yeah, we're all in Shutter Island.
Wow. That's a good strange place. I've heard some doozies recently, and one was the Headbangers were wrestling in Kentucky, and they pull up at a big white building on the outside that said "Long live the KKK," and you're like, oh,
Wow.
oh yeah. We've got some good ones, so you're adding to the pile, and I enjoy that so much. But you are the son of Samu, one half of the Head Shrinkers. Now, explain to me what it's like growing up, because you are in school, your father's traveling around the world, and people are probably coming up to you and saying like, "Oh, can I come over to your house? Is your dad going to be home? Who's he going to bring home?" What's that childhood like? Because your dad isn't as home as you probably would like him to be.
So at the time, like growing up, yeah, my father wasn't home like much. So I give a lot of credit to my mom, who, she raised me, and my two sisters, um, to be who we are today. And yeah, I got to give her a lot of credit because, in this business, if you're in the business, man, you do a lot of traveling. You're barely home, and especially at his time, he was traveling back and forth. He was at WWE, then he did Japan again, and then a lot of independents. And man, he was just always gone. And but then at times he was always there for me also. Like he tried to come home as much as possible. And yeah, like my friends, man, they love like watching. They especially if anything was local, especially for my grandfather's company, because my grandfather lived in the same town as us, and he had his own promotion, which is WXW. And whenever my father or even like we had Rikishi come in, my uncle. We had Umaga, Rosie, even Yokozuna made appearances. Man, Yokozuna just used to randomly show up at our front door, knocking on the door, saying that he's in the area. They just come in through the door, man, sit on right on the sofa, watch TV, put his legs up. And man, I used to love it because every time he came in, he always threw me and my sisters some money. So as a kid, man, he was, yeah, I love when he stopped by.
Well, yeah, Yokozuna's popping in the door. He's gonna give you some money, of course. Come on in, Yoko.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. And then just go around the corner to the corner store and treat me and my friends. Now,
Wow.
but yeah, just my father, man. He's a big reason why I started wrestling after 18 years of waiting.
So what was the wait about? What was there always, because we talked about earlier, kind of like you were a baseball into baseball, wrestling wasn't really on your radar, but suddenly your father, Samu, you're part of a lineage. Everyone, Roman Reigns, the Usos are part of what's going on today in today's world. But yeah, like I said, Manu, you have Umaga, Yokozuna, The Rock. It's endless. It's endless. So where
Yeah.
does it finally happen where your father, or in general, just like, hey man, what are we doing here? Let's do this or not do this.
So my senior year in high school, like I said, I was a big baseball player. I got injured my senior year. I hurt my knee. So college was still there for me to go to community college. It wasn't like a university D1 or anything. So those offers weren't there because of my injury. So I always just had to go to the backup plan. And to me, wrestling was always, I guess, considered my backup plan, if anything. Um, so I just told my dad, I said, hey, I want to start training. I want to take it serious. So in October of 2009, I got in the ring. I started training, and then in Pennsylvania, you can't wrestle until your 18th birthday. So I trained from October, and my 18th birthday was in February. So I had my first match when
Wow.
I turned 18 in my hometown. So I I just trained hard and had my father just push me as much as possible. Like he didn't take it easy on me. Just I think I got it the worst out of all the students.
Yeah, I imagine. I imagine if you're the son of Samu, man, who's supposed to be described as a savage on television, he's not going to be like, "All right, son, you're okay. You don't have to do
Yeah,
back bumps
there was
today."
no giving up at all, man. Like, I was just 17 years old. My body was hurting after training. We would go 3 times a week, sometimes even four. We'll go on the weekend if there's not no shows or anything to do. Man, but yeah, my body, because they said, man, like a bump is like when you're in the ring, it's like getting hit by a car, and just being 17 years old, getting hit by a car, gotta hurt. And
Over
now
and over
look,
and
man,
over
I'm
again too.
yeah, exactly.
Oh
And
my.
now almost 14 years later, or 13, 14, I don't know. I lost track, man. I just
That's amazing though to hear the journey that you've been on and Yokozuna popping into your house. Were there any other stars that you're just sitting there on your couch with your friends watching TV? I don't know where the doorbell rings, you open it up, you're like, I'm sorry. What is Henry O. Godwin doing here? Like, who else is coming to your house? Because it's got to be a plethora of people.
Man, it wasn't a lot really. My grandfather's the one who had all the stars go to his house because he had like his huge house with a basement, big pool in the backyard. So if the guys were in the area and they wanted to train, they stopped at the school, and then they always go to his house. And it was like Bam Bam, Luna. Like I said, X Pac was a big part. Who else? Undertaker stopped by, man. Like we even had Undertaker and Kane at one of my grandfather's shows on the indie show. We had Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero. Like, man, just everybody was always stopping by to show respect for my grandfather. Actually, my whole family. So it was always a pleasure just growing up and watching and seeing all this. Like, just wow.